Hey, Scott Weatherford here again, Life Group session number 2 in our series. I am so jazzed about this because I can't wait to tell you some stuff that I found out. I want you to have a great discussion. This is cool. There are several topics in Genesis that are just kind of confusing. One of those topics is this king named Melchizedek. Who the heck is this guy, and why did Abraham feel compelled to stop and give him a tenth of the spoils of war? And what was Abraham getting into a fight with? He's not a nation. He's not a people. What the heck is going on here in Genesis chapter 14? Well, I want to take you on this adventure. Before we get into that, let me give you some background, and we'll hit this quickly. Now, here it is in Genesis 14. The 4 kings took the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food, and they went. And they also took Abraham's nephew Lot and his possessions, for he was living in Sodom. And they went on. One of the survivors came and told Abraham the Hebrew, who lived near the oaks belonging to Miran the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol, the brother of Aner, and they were bound to a treaty with Abram. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken prisoner, he assembled his 318 trained men born in his household, and they went and pursued as far as Dan. And he and his servants deployed against them by night, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hohad, to the north of Damascus. He brought back all the goods, so also his relative Lot and his goods, as well as all the women and the other people. Now, stupid Lot, had got himself into trouble because he was living in Sodom, the wrong place with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and Abraham should have let him go, but Abraham, being loyal, goes and rescues Lot the idiot. Okay, that's Weatherford's translation of that. And this is a reoccurring theme in Abraham's and Lot's relationship. Abraham keeps bailing him out. And you'll see this is not the last time he does this. So Abraham wins this huge vision, and he gives credit to God. 118 men going against the force of 4 kings. That's amazing. So God is the deliverer. And you'll see God throughout the Old Testament. That's what he does. He comes through, and he delivers his people, and he's the God who fights our battles. Tara and I were in a discussion recently about some things going on, and I said, hey, baby, instead of getting mad, why don't we let God fight our battles? And so we're going to trust him to fight our battles because the Lord is the one who fights our battles. And what he did, Abraham wins this great victory. Then he expresses his gratitude by visiting King Melchizedek. Now, why did he do this? And who was this mystical king anyway? So let's talk about that. Abraham returned after defeating Kelamandar, and the king who was with him, the king of Sodom, went out to meet him in Shevia Valley, and this is the king's valley, and he blessed him and said, Abraham is blessed by the Most High God, the creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be the Most High who's handed over your enemies, and Abraham gave him a tenth of everything. Now, get this, okay? He met him. Abraham defeated the king Calamar and the kings who were with him, and the king of Sodom, who was also Melchizedek. Okay, doesn't say this in translation, but this is who he is. Melchizedek. He comes out and meets him, and Abraham gives him a tenth of his spoils. All right, who was Melchizedek? Now get this. Melchizedek was Abraham's 8th generational grandfather, also known as Shem. What? The Bible doesn't say that. How do I know that? The Talmud, written in 740 BC, the Jewish history, talks about King Melchizedek was his nickname. Shem, S-H-E-M, was his given name. Flavius Josephus also has a commentary about that, and he says Melchizedek and Shem are the same dude. He was the son of Noah, who was the keeper of the worship of God, known as the priest. A priest is someone who represents God to the people, because Shem had a personal relationship with God through Noah, being on the dadgum ark. Melchizedek, this is the king Melchizedek, Shem, a high priest, not of the order of the Levites, but of the order of God, is Abraham's papa, and Abraham goes to visit Papa Melchizedek, and out of love and devotion, gives him a tenth of what he's got. He gave Papa a gift out of love. Wow. I didn't know that. And so when I read that, and I went forward and look at Hebrews, and it talked about Melchizedek, a high priest. Jesus is an order like that. Jesus is a high priest, not of the Levitical order or the Jewish descent, but by God's preordination. Jesus, the great I am, the Ancient of Days, the uncreated one, by the proxy of the Most High God, he is God, our high priest. Wow. Jesus is the order of Melchizedek, not from man, but from God. Abraham gave his papa Melchizedek a gift out of love, which brings me to this. He didn't give to him because he had to. He gave to him because he was his grandfather and he loved him. You know what that says to me? I should respond to God the same way. That I give to God because I love him. I give to him because he's good to me. I'm sure as Abraham said, hey, Papa, I want to give you this stuff because you poured in me faith in the Most High God, who I am now a friend with because of your influence, and I want to give to you. That's why the gospel is always fueled by the love and the gratitude of those who've been redeemed. Wow. Changes me. This is another example of the relational thread that God weaves throughout the great gospel story that we give out of love. So what does that mean to you and your group? I think you should have a great discussion to see that you can give to God out of devotion and love, not a guilt or necessity. You might want to look at 2 Corinthians 9, 8, 9. Might help you with your discussion. I hope this helps. And remember, I love you. I kind of want to be like Papa, Melchizedek. Maybe not like mystical, creepy way, but in that love way, all for Jesus. Hope you enjoy. Have a great discussion.